What's up, everybody? I'm Novo coming at you with another one. I had a request to have a look at FCO, Fabled Silver Gold Corp. I think I did a video on this a while ago. And we were speculating a push to the downside. And um, if it didn't break down, we were looking at a consolidation. Now we're starting to see that we came down and struck the bottom end of this support line here. So that was a total sell-off. And we can see the A, the B, and the C wave. I want to say we're going to have a false rally before this thing runs up. But you can see money flow index exited right about down here. And now we're starting to see money go back in, right? But we got some money changing hands still. The RSI never really did go into oversold, so it is possible we may be dragging this out a little bit longer. And depending on volume, the next level is right about here. And this is why you don't put all your eggs in one basket if you're accumulating. What I do like is convergence here, right? So divergence would be price going up and the indicators going down. Now we have convergence towards price, whereas the momentum is converging up towards price. Just notice something else here, like so. So, oh, maybe we got a GAN fan happening here with a pivot point. Let me delete this. Delete. And see if we can zero in on a pivot date. Does not mean that the date itself is the pivot. It's more like price will use that focal point as for the radiant, right? It would be the center of a circle. That looks pretty cool. That seems to gel. Let's see how we get all this convergence on this date. Oh, never mind the date. It's the hour. So something might happen on the hour. This would be too noisy. I want to see daily. See, that changes the conversation, doesn't it? Okay, so let's go back to hourly just so we can see what we're arguing. So on the hourly, we bottomed out. It looks like we've got a triple bottom, and the moving averages are, pushing down. So the possibility of further breakdown is there, but it looks like the argument is people are, buyers are starting to collect and accumulate down around here, and that was, we can see the bounce here, right? So this is support. If price goes below that, that will be resistance, and then we look for the next support line. So right now we're seeing support until we break down. Now when we go to daily, that becomes our double bottom. This is kind of looking a little better. So we'll go to bars so we can kind of clean things up. And you can see how right here is when APO and MACD went below the zero cross. Suddenly we lost momentum. So this is low momentum selling. We went below, hit the 100. Low momentum buying forced us to stall at the 50 and then came back down, testing the 100 again. The death cross of the 20 and the 50 is concerning, but we're already down around the 100, so there's a potential that we're going to see squeeze and then a push to the upside. So it's starting to look a little more, not bullish, but looking like set up soon. I don't see, where the heck did the 200 go? Is it way down? Oh, just not enough time. There isn't 200 days in this thing. Money flow index coming back down again. So I'm concerned that this may continue down. And if it does, now we're recalculating this consolidation zone here, right? So down there, let's see if we can encapsulate this a bit. Maybe, let's say it's a little further, but you can see how now it's going to take longer based on price and time to go hit or challenge the all-time high. You see that? Price and time. So this is all squared off. And if we go lower, well, then we'll have to recalculate again. So RSI is below the 50, so that's sitting around 40. That's kind of, this would be kind of like a health check, and the stock is not healthy right now. It's below the 50, so the odds of a bounce and a move to the upside is not here yet. The volume is dropping off. Well, technically the selling is dropping off as well too. So this will be quiet times. The money flow may exit again, and then we'll see a double bottom of the money flow index. That might be as low as we're going to get. And if they need money, they'll be setting up private placement. They may dilute and split. But if we see a double bottom and a move to the upside, we may be okay, and that might be considered fair market, right? But looking at the APO and MACD, APO short-term momentum is kind of coming back up. The MACD looks like it was going to cross and then continue back down. So this is all weak momentum, and odds are that we will cross and shorters will step in before we hit that zero cross. So I don't expect any upward movement yet. Price has to at least get above the 20, which is around the 19-cent range. So this is like a long-term wait. The 200 is coming into play now on the half day, and it's just under where price is now. So, I mean, a wick could come here and then start the movement back up. But again, we've got 3 moving averages creating pressure, selling pressure down. So we may have that compression, and we may be range bound for a while longer until we start seeing more health, right? And well, there it is. So on the 4-hour, we have that cross, and that means low momentum for a while till we see a cross going green to challenge here. Once we break above that, we're going to have to rest and then see if we see support on that. So that's on the 4-hour. I would watch that. The 1-hour, you can just see the convergence is coming up, trying to challenge the zero cross, and it keeps failing. It's just not enough buying happening. It's more selling pressure. So we may have to wait a bit longer. And I don't know, quick peek at news. Yeah, it must be really small. There's no real news. Last time was July 17th, so maybe going over to CEO.ca and have that peek over there. But I'm going to keep this video short. Squaring. Oh, right. We shall try this. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So let me go full screen. Sorry. And stretch this out. So using the GAN fin and squaring off from the all-time high to that first wave down to the bottom, you can see the resonance of price where it's attracted in a zone range, and it's in the 1/8 to 1/4. And you can see like all this range expansion coming down to a price where buyers are starting to step in and accumulate. So now we're just about to exit the 1/8. The odds of the 16th are there, but I think we may have to wait a little longer. I just want to. Where's this one? Okay. Maybe end of April we might start seeing some upward movement. We've got to make sure that this price level is finally kept and that we don't go down to 11.5. What is the percentage from there? Roughly 40. 59.87. So the 618 would be around 15 cents. And so that's a fib level. And I remember something about that 15-cent mark. It's not jumping out at me right now, but looking left, there was here. Yeah, that's where this noise was here. So maybe we'll move this up. And this may be the final capitulation or death blow or a run down before we finally start seeing movement to the upside. And this is just further pressure. So I don't think we're going to see much more movement down unless this thing is a piece of junk and they have no future whatsoever. The 60 some odd percent pullback and just under this range here might be the final entry. But again, we're not going to come flying back up to the all-time high, right? We're going to start meeting resistance. So if we do come down here, we might be range bound where we find this was heavy support, and now it might be heavy resistance, and we may be grinding down around this channel. So I want to say that if it does come down here, it'll probably be like a wick dump, and then maybe a close back up around here. And that would further strengthen the argument to chart readers to see, oh, okay, the wick means buying pressure down here, and the closes are all about here, so the argument is going to be at 16 cents or whatever. Weekly, and I want to turn off the MACD. Turn that off. Yeah, that looks pretty scary, doesn't it? Red candles all over the place. First sign of an argument. Final push down, and we're sitting right on the 20 week, so that's pretty good. And the wicks below the 20 get bought up, and the closes are at the 20, so that's good. We need this weekly candle to finish above. Volume and selling is dropping off, so there's less selling pressure. I think maybe the argument is there. This looks like happy land for the bounce, and we may see weeks here. Maybe in about 3 weeks we might see movement to the upside, but that's not confirmed either. That looks interesting. This would almost be a cup of resistance, and we could probably use that as seeing where the flipping is going to happen, right? Until we head up around, what is that, May or so, and then we'll probably see a blow off, and then we'll start looking at support structure over here, maybe a sell off back down to about 24, but that's way off into the future. So lots of selling, less selling, a little bit of buying. The wicks are showing accumulation starting to set in, but the wicks are very small. What is that, half a cent or so? FCO. I'm just going to go off to the other screen and just punch it up and see if I got a level 2 for that. Why is it not showing up? Let's see. Table silver. And no access. All I see is the bid and the ask. So, and it looks pretty even. 16.5, 125,000. 17.5, 139,000. It looks pretty tightly range bound. Volume today for TD was around 220,000 so far. So unless they have some really good news, we may be stuck down there for a while. This is interesting. I mean, if this is the 3-bar play, this could be 1 month engulfing candle. 1 month. Well, this is the beginning of the month, so maybe we'll see the wick come down and then close off green. We're just starting the month, so too early to tell. I won't bother with that. I do like the fact that price does not want to stay below the 20. I'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Is today Thursday? Oh God, today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Good Friday. Yeah, it's anybody's week right now. It'll probably finish off red, and we might need 2 or 3 more weeks before we actually see a clear sign as to whether or not we're going to see a directional change. But the argument does seem to be there, right? Triple bounce, so to speak. All the wicks is like kind of like access denied. It's being gobbled up at 16, and now the bid is 16.5, and nobody wants to sell. The ask is 17.5, so it sounds like anybody willing to bid 17 might be able to force the price or get the price to start moving back up. And then we'll have to start looking at around the 19-cent range for rejections and see if we see the compression. If we see the compression, that would be a good sign because we would technically have higher lows, and then we would, I guess we could say we have not higher highs, because the 19 is there, but higher lows, and then hopefully a wedge to force things up. But we need, I guess, good news or somebody on the inside that knows something that we don't. As of right now, this is running its course. It's done the majority of the sell-off. If we were to go, say, 85%, 85, see, we would be down below this noise here. I don't think we would go that. The lowest, maybe 70. Well, I mean, I don't know. If it's a piece of junk, I can see 82. And I don't know what the news catalyst was that did this, but it's done its run and now it's got to rest, right? For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. This went price and time. Gravity is going to take a while for it to take flight again. So mathematically, we got to grind out for a little bit longer. I said this was going to be a short video, and we're almost at 20 minutes. So we'll call it FCO. Trade safe.